I was cool with everybody. But what I noticed is had tension with each other in the neighborhood, and we all had the same interests. In the back of my head, I always kept in mind, like, with my shop, I got to build a community. And that's where I feel like we flourished in that, because I always looked out for the people, not for the pockets. You know, I just grow with the business. This is what I'm going to do till I die. So pay me today, pay me tomorrow, it doesn't matter. My thing is I want to make it strong for longevity.
Welcome, my name is Najar, better known as Wuzi, and this is the Creative Balance Show presented by Wuzi Apparel. A show where we sit with creatives, hustlers, entrepreneurs, and other brand builders to understand their stories and the balance needed for their success. Today, we sit down with Moon of Mafia Motorsports. He runs a popular car shop on the outskirts of Torrance, California. This isn't your everyday car shop though. This is one of those places where you come to share in the passion for the hobby. With well over a decade in the business, Moon shares with us how he came to love cars, what it was like growing up in Inglewood, and why trust and reputation is more important than living a lavish life. Enjoy the show. Welcome, guys, to the Creative Balance Show. I'm your boy Wuzi, and we're here at Mafia Motorsports in Torrance.
Yep.
I'm here with my guy Moon, but I'll let him introduce himself.
What's up, guys? I'm Moon. I'm the owner of Mafia Motorsports out here in Torrance.
Yeah. So, where did the name of Mafia Motorsports come from, first of all?
Honestly, it was just something catchy that I thought of, because I was like, I need to get something to gain traction. Like, I want people to, like, when they hear the name, they're like, wait a minute, you know? Like, I want them to think twice. So, coming from my background, where I'm from, my family were kind of like, you know, mafia family, right? So, I was like, it's only fitting. So, I kind of was like, all right. When I first started, it was initially called JDM Mafia, because we were into Hondas and stuff. You know, I started the company when I was 19, so I was still in my, like, late teens.
Yeah.
And, I just made like a mock-up. It's funny because your brother was the first one I told I was going to open a shop. And I texted him my first little design. You just laying in bed, you know, on your phone, messing with a design app. And I made like a Run DMC kind of vibe, but it said JDM and then Mafia under it.
Okay.
And it looked dope. Like, it was like, damn, this is pretty sick. You know, like, you visualize it, but when you put it together and you see it, you're like, okay, I could run with this.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it started, and it just bloomed from there, you know?
So when you meet people, like, and you introduce yourself, how do you usually do it? Like, is it just like when they ask you, what do you do?
From what it was to what it is now, I mean, I used to be a lot more louder about what I do.
Yeah,
just to like initiate and invite people to like know, and, you know, exposure. I'd be in traffic and I see a fixed up car. I literally like, hey, here's my card. I don't even know them. And they're like, who's this guy? I'm like, bro, I got parts. I'll hook you up. And they're like, all right, cool. I was very engaging, you know?
Yeah.
And I was younger, you know what I mean? When you're young, you have that energy. You're ecstatic and you're full of energy. So as I got older, then it kind of the work showed itself. And now we are an establishment and people already know of us that I don't know them. So it's real wild to see that transition. Like, from having to basically do backflips to have to sit in the background and try to be avoiding people, you know?
Yeah.
So nowadays I don't say shit.
Yeah. He's like, my name's Moon.
I'll go to car meets and just hang out like with the group, you know? And then at the end somebody will say, oh, well, he owns a shop.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? You own this? Oh, that's your shop? That's kind of how the conversation sparks up nowadays.
How long did it take to adjust to that? Like adjust
years,
to get out of that hustle mode? Yeah.
I've been in the game now. I found my shop 2010, 13 years.
Dang.
I would say, like, by the time we were in the Redondo Beach Boulevard location, by then I was already gained so much traction that I had to kind of be low key, or try to start transitioning to be more like, all right, this shit's already going. I don't need to be out loud and about it. You know, like, people are out here repping us. We got stickers. We got our merch line, you know, so it's cool. Yeah, it's nice to see that just shows the growth over time. You know what I mean?
That's how long did it take to get to that point? That was,
I would say, about a good 6-7 years.
Nice.
Yeah, 6 to 7 years confidently, where after that, we kind of put our foot down. People knew.
Yeah.
You know, people knew. So,
that's what's up.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit later, but I did want to start off like, talking about where you're from, where you grew up, how,
Yeah.
what was that like?
So I'm like first gen. My parents came in like 1990. It's funny, they came in 91 and I was born like 20 days later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Yeah.
So, and we came straight to LAX, boom, straight into Inglewood. And then all our families in South Bay, like 310 Harbor area. So and till this day, anybody that comes from our country, they set up shop here. They just end up living over here because we're all together over here. So I have about like 200 plus family members just in South Bay. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from Torrance to Inglewood. So
Where's your family from?
Pakistan.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so we're a tight knit family, and we grow together, and that's all I know. It's weird to not have any cousins. I meet people that don't have a big family. I'm like, damn, this must be wild. You know?
Exactly.
I go anywhere, I'll run into family.
Yeah, that's how it is for me too. We have a pretty big family, as you already know. And I trip out with some of my friends who are like only childs. I'm like, I cannot even imagine.
Yeah, bro.
like being in the house by myself. Don't worry.
Yeah, we working. Still. That's the thing. That's another thing. I feel like an octopus. Like I always got my hands everywhere, but balanced.
Yeah.
Like everything got to be well executed and done properly. But that's another reason why I feel like we grew the way we grew.
Because
going hard every day. Yeah.
So like, what you say you grew up in? You guys landed in Inglewood. What was it like growing up in Inglewood?
I mean, coming from where we're coming from, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
But then, given where we came, it's not the best place.
Yeah.
But for us, it was, hey, we're here,
Yeah.
And I feel like our people, they usually stick to the areas where there's people they know from back home are there too. So it's like that peace of mind, comfort. And, with religion, you kind of get your network like that. Anywhere you go in the world, if you're a Christian or if you're Jewish, you go to the temple or you go to church and you meet your people, and then you're comfortable. You find a community. So we have a community in Inglewood. We had a mosque, and that's kind of where like everything, all the networking and growth just comes from there, bro. Because you get involved with people that have been here, they kind of help you out. So it was hard because obviously crime ridden, all that stuff, but it just wasn't like third world crime. But we knew better. We understood where we were at. So growing up, like obviously you have pick a side. There's only like 3 professions in that area.
Yeah,
you could go. What kind of route. So, a lot of my family like troublemakers, tough guys and stuff. So, I kind of just got into cars.
Yeah,
because
nice.
like I could have went the tough guy route, but I kind of didn't have to. It's kind of like my cousins were already out there wilding. Everybody knows. So.
What was it like being like, I think it's pretty cool, like you said, to like, obviously it's better from where you came from, but it still wasn't the best. Like, how was it? Was that like a hard thing to accept? Like, man, like, trying to, I don't want to say weird. It sounds weird to be like, accept being grateful, but, some people are like, oh, this is trash. But
no, 100%, because in my background, my culture, there's obviously, it's like a stereotype, right? Like, oh, this fool got it. Like, they got 10 businesses, they got 15, but that's not really the case.
Yeah.
Because then if you go to like 7-Eleven, you're going to see the same demographic, and he's just like the guy next to him working at the register. It's just minimum wage getting by, taxi drivers. So that's all. And there's always like, what do you call that? There's classes, and even in our culture and who I am. So we're more of the people that are struggling, like pops is living hand to mouth. So you see that growing up, and then the environment you're in, you kind of know like, okay, we came here, we're here now, but we got to progress. And I feel like
keep going for it.
Yeah, getting that thing done. Now, for me, it was like, okay, well, my parents did the job of bringing us here, right? So now I got to like kind of step it up and take us to the next level. So it was like normal to us that we're in that situation. And so we didn't complain much. But yeah, whenever you see the other guys from like Orange County, or like the kids that, my dad owns 10 gas stations, your dad works for my dad.
Yeah.
Like, then you kind of see the difference, right? And like materialistic things.
Levels to it.
Yeah, like growing up, we had to get hand-me-downs. You feel me? Like we didn't get the newest toys or the newest electronics. get them next year. You know, like so for that you obviously want better in life, and I feel like that was like a fuel to me. And then seeing your parents struggle, you know, or be conservative on spending, or like arguments. You know, parents fight over finances, and you kind of take all. I mean, anybody, you take it how you want. Not everybody sees it the same way I see it, but for me, it was like, all right, I don't want to deal with this when I'm an adult. You know, and given I'm not dumb, but school is just not my interest. I just landed more towards business. I've seen a lot of hustlers and growing up, you know, like in the neighborhood. How they move, you know, and I was like, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
So I kind of took those steps.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So how was that dynamic like then? Like, because I can relate to that about not being really, like, being smart but not into school. So it's like, even though like your parents might understand that, like, how was that dynamic when you're like, you're not doing great at school, and it's just like,
that's the thing. Like, my parents they didn't understand that, because my dad was a doctor back home.
Oh wow.
Well, when he came here, he kind of like surrendered everything just to come here, like sacrifice, right? So he had to dumb it down and become like a basic dude. And till this day, 32 years later, he's still a basic dude. He has nothing, like, as far as like what he could have built back home. It was almost impossible for him to do it here, you know? So with that, they really wanted me in school. They really pushed me, but like your environment, obviously, right? When I was in the environment I was in, they don't understand. Like, if I wanted to do school, that had to be my personal preference. Because there's a lot of kids I grew up with in my apartment complex that went to UCLA, USC full ride. You know? That's
crazy.
And it's wild, right? And we live in the same freaking complex. Like, what's the difference between me and you? We go to the same school, but he took that serious.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really what you take serious, and then you apply yourself, and the results just show within time. So the hard part is when you want to step out, and they call it nowadays entrepreneur. You know, to me, it's just like a hustler. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I look at it, like a hustler. Like, you're going to make it happen no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I'm not trying to open 50 businesses. I care for less. You know what I'm saying? I just want a stability in my life. You know? So for that, I'm a hustle.
Makes sense.
So you simplify things, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. That's the way I look at it.
Okay. So I know you said you had different paths you could have went along, as far as, like, you know, some more like rowdy stuff, but you went towards cars. Like, what did that look like when you say you went towards cars?
I went towards cars because the rowdy stuff was fun while you're young and you're short-minded.
Yeah.
But then people don't see the after effect.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have that in your household, like your cousin's going to YA and your other cousin's twacked out, beating up moms to get money, like crazy stuff. You're just like, what the hell? This is trash, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all try to do this? Like, y'all look cool over there, but when you come home, like, there's no respect.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for me, it was like, I want the opposite. You know, like, I want my household to respect me. And when I walk out the house, I want to be going out to flourish. You know what I mean? So when I saw the downside of it, that kind of like turned me off heavy, you know? And then I lost a cousin too, you know what I'm saying, to violence and drugs. I've lost a few family members, and they're lost in their ways and their things, you know? But seeing that, you take that experience, because to me, like, you see their mom suffer, you know? So that kind of hit me different. And I was like, man, my parents can't even take care of themselves. I'm going to stress them out even more.
Yeah, exactly, right?
You know what I'm saying? That's the way I was looking at it. I guess I was mature for my age.
That's what's up. Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people think about, you know, we always think about, especially when I was young, I'm like, I'm trying to do what I want to do. Yeah, but you don't really think about how that might affect your parents at home.
Yeah, it's all about you know, at a certain age.
Yeah.
I think, like, my parents split when I was like 7 years old, and in our culture it's very rare and it's like unheard of, right? You marry somebody, you die with that person. Like, that's how it goes. So I kind of had to like step it up and be the man of the house at a young age. But our culture doesn't really train you for that, and you kind of have no examples to lead by either, because no one talks about that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of why, even though I'm from Pakistan, but like even Pakistani people don't even know half the time that I'm from Pakistan, because I'm so like in tune with the Cali lifestyle, the LA people. Like, that's where I connected with those cats. Like, those became my true homies too, because we had the same struggles in the household, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like we're not the same ethnicity, but we live in the same block, we go to the same school, we got the same problems at home. So I kind of bonded with all these people. So I'm very like multicultural in that sense that, like, race, color, it don't matter to me, because I'm, and you know, everybody thinks they're the best or whatever, you know, and my people, they're not arrogant, but they're very culture and they're very proud, right? But then there's also problems within our culture too. So I kind of seen that firsthand. So I'm like, okay, can't judge nobody from where they come from, what they are. You got to judge them how they live and their lifestyle.
Exactly.
You know, so that kind of helped me a lot to reach out to all the different people. And I'm just like a genuine person with anybody. So that's why people, they attract to you like that.
Exactly.
Because they're like, this guy's straightforward.
Exactly.
No gimmicks, you know? There's no favoritism here. Like, treat everybody equal, bro.
That's neat. So, and I want you to talk about that a little bit more as far as like growing up in LA. Like, how was it like learning about all these different cultures? Because LA is it's
a melting pot.
It really is a melting pot.
Yeah,
So many different cultures.
Yeah, man. So like our parents always want to obviously do better like everybody else, right? So like I'll give it to them. Even amongst arguing and bickering, you know, the parents, they still like try to like get better, do better. So little by little we transitioned to like better cities. Or if I was still in Hawthorne, we use like fake address of a cousin in Redondo Beach, send me to school there, you know? Yeah. So I always went to different schools too. So I know a lot of people from everywhere because, you know, I'd be in different cities, different schools. Because my mom always wanted me school, go to good school, this, that, you know? But even that didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, I still did what I wanted to do, but it worked out for me somehow. And yeah, that's pretty much what it was. So I'm really in tune with my people, but I'm just as in tune with just the community and where I am, where I live, you know? Yeah. It's wild. Like I could be anywhere from this side of the 110 to Pasadena, and I got peoples all through up and down that, you know? Even from this side of 91 to the IE, like people know, you know? Like it's wild.
That's what's up. That's pretty neat. That's one thing you know, me and my girlfriend, we always go back and forth because she's from the Bay Area. I'm not technically from LA, but I grew up here, and I'm like, oh, we always go back and forth because she's like, what's better? And I'm just like, I don't know. I always feel like, like you said, the melting pot, like the fact that you can come to LA from any situation and find a place, as long as, especially like you said, you grew up in Inglewood, like just the fact that you're from Inglewood is enough for some people. Like yeah, we grew up from the same neighborhood, so like we might as well kick it if you're a cool person. No,
definitely. Like, and it kind of like it breaks the ice. Like people kind of feel some type of way because then now I live in Torrance, right? And I've lived in Torrance for like now. I'm getting a lot older now, man. I'm 32, so like probably like half my life, you know. And like we lived in the hood, like it was like mostly like my young years, you know. But the thing is, when your church is still in the hood. And your parents are very involved with the church. You could live anywhere in the damn area, but you still gonna go there every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday. Exactly. And then you have family that still lives there. So it's crazy. Like I seen like the good areas and the bad areas, but consistently, you know? Like I would be Monday over here in Torrance going to school, then come Friday, I stay the night in Inglewood. Yeah. Then I'm there till Sunday. So then it's like you hanging out with those guys, but then you come back to school on Monday over here. So it's like, people always knew, it's funny because people always knew on the nicer areas, like this fool's not from here, you know? So I mean, even though my parents put all the effort and put me there, I felt more comfortable with my boys back on the other side of the tracks. So even in high school, everybody knew like, oh, his cousins are crazy, you know? So like when my cousins show up to pick me up on a Friday, it's like, I'll go from the other gate because Moon's cousins are here. They look too dangerous, you know? Like there's a different demographic, right? I went to high school in Torrance, but that's the thing. I was in North Torrance. North Torrance is like a huge melting pot, and we live on this street called Yukon, which goes all the way to Inglewood too. So I know Inglewood, the Yukon from Inglewood, and all the way to Yukon to where I live today. And on my block there was Vietnamese, Samoan, Black people, Sri Lankans, Indians, Pakis. It's just like mixed, bro. And like I really genuinely love that because then there's no like favoritism or there's no like superior, you know, like you go to certain areas you just feel uncomfortable. It's not like that and it wasn't like that in school either. Everybody got along, everybody was cool, and everybody understood that okay, those people, like everybody had their groups, but we still intermingle with each other and we still respect each other, you know. There was never like racial stuff because like over there on that side you see a lot of racial tension and BS, you know. In high school, all those riots and stuff, you always hear about Hawthorne High, Sentinella. But in North, it would just be brawls. We were just fighting. Yeah, we were just fighting. It didn't matter about the color.
That's what's up. So I want to ask you then, like, how did you? Could you say you got into cars? How did that? Like, Like we know, was Pops into cars, or like how did that get into it?
My dad, he's not a car guy at all. Yeah, but I don't know what it was. I was born with it, bro. Like I got pictures of since I was a toddler, car guy.
Okay.
Like there's kids that want to play with action figures, kids that want to play with Hot Wheels. I was a Hot Wheels kid. So I had a Power Wheel, I had model cars, like anything car related, you know, you get on my good side. Yeah. So that's just how it was. Like I always was into cars, and as I got older, I wanted to do business, obviously, because I got kicked out of high school, and then I tried to do insurance with my pops, and the whole suit and tie cubicle is not for me. You know, like I feel so trapped and claustrophobic. I like retail. I like to deal with people dealing, money dealing, seeing stuff come, sales daily. So retail was like kind of like my stick. But I knew that to be successful, you got to stick to what you know and kind of do what you're known for. And I had a good name out, like with the friends I hung out with in the car scene and all the car. Like I got away from the trouble stuff, and I got into cars, and when I got into cars, I met all these different people that were just like me, like your brother. That's why me and Mar, we've been like homies, because we kind of have the same kind of struggles, same kind of environment. We're from the same area, and we have the same interests. So like, you can't beat that kind of bond, you know, and then you grow with those type of people. You're genuine, like, we've seen a lot of shady guys. They just come and go in our eyes, you know. But look, I've been friends with your brother for 15 years. Wow. You know what I'm saying? That's a long time, bro. And it's crazy that I'm talking about this today, and he runs like the tech side of it. He's like our master tech. But like my first car meet I ever went to is the day I met your brother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's and crazy. That was in high school.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. And the guys that helped me modify my first car, their storage is in the back over here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Small world.
Crazy, right? it trips me out, you know? And this was so long ago, and today look what we doing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's crazy too, because I interviewed a guy, his name was Gabriel, and he said he came from the hood too. And I remember him talking about, like, I want to ask you if this is true for you too. Growing up in environments like that. Growing up in environments like that, he said you kind of learn how to, like, almost, what's the word, like read body language, kind of like you kind of you kind of can like feel like when someone comes in and they're being
that skill is like, it's a very rare skill to have, skill set, but it really is based off your experience. See, we grew up with having businesses in the swap meets. Those are like the most successful people that I saw growing up. Because like the guys that own like 20 gas stations and stuff, they stay in Orange County. But the guy that got like 3 shoe stores in the swap meet, he still stays in Gardena.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, or you know, so watching these uncles and how they work, like these fools were immigrants, man. Like they didn't know English that well. And you know, in the hood, there's a lot of ignorant motherfuckers. So they will come in, act a fool, take advantage, you know what I mean? Be rude, this, that, but store's still standing, you know? Uncle ain't got beat up, nothing. Like, he knows how to deal with them because he deals with this environment every day. He lives in it too. So for us, like, you kind of just watch that. So then when I got into retail, I was working in the swap meet too, you know? And I dealt with so many different types of people, and we didn't have no security. I mean, we had a guy walking around with a security shirt, but you know he was doing shit, nothing. Yeah. And then the cameras weren't even wired up. Yeah. And we're just deterrents, dealing with robbers, pimps, gangsters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all kinds of like wild dudes. You know, short-tempered, short-minded, crazies. So that kind of like really built up my skill set. Yeah, and then like having to like. Go to these car events, you meet people from like different areas, so not everybody's like that. So you got to kind of switch it up and like, you know, talk. You know, you just kind of, like you said, people reading. So you kind of know who's who, right? So I don't know. For me, it's easy because I kind of sat around a lot of different types of people, different personalities and backgrounds. So it makes it easy.
Can you even imagine fully establishing your life so far as becoming a doctor, then having to leave that all behind to come to America and become a regular dude? Now imagine the amount of pressure that puts on a child in that circumstance. This was the environment that Moon found himself growing up in the hood of Inglewood. But as you may notice, that didn't stop him from understanding what he wanted for himself. When tempted with the other paths that were common from the people of his neighborhood, he had the foresight to understand that those lives caused more destruction than good and stuck to what he loved, cars. This is a lesson we can all apply now. When we find ourselves admiring someone's hustle/lifestyle, we need to filter that through what we want for the future and check if that lines up. Now let's follow Moon's story as he talks about how he combined his passion and his business. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of shift gears then and go into like Mafia Motorsports. And I know you said, you know, we talked at the beginning that you just had to hustle and let everybody know and give everybody a car. Like, what made you think like, you know what, I want to start a business around cars?
Well, like I said, I seen my parents struggle financially, and I mean, for me, I'm like, every day is a progress day. Like, I take every day like I'm gonna be better than yesterday, but not everybody thinks like that. So I didn't see that from my dad, you know, like as much as like progression, right? Like he worked hard, he maintained, still maintaining. Really, you know, we had everything we needed. But then it takes a certain individual to kind of want to change, right? Like a change is different than stability, I feel like and the change takes more risk. Stability is always a safe way. And when I had a death in the family, I realized that, man, just fucking go all in, bro. Like, see where it takes you, because look at this. You know what I mean? Like, you could be gone like this, bro, and then you can't do nothing. There's no retries or, you know, you can't restart.
Yeah.
Like, it's a wrap. So, and I got that, like a eye-opener experience when I was only 18 years old. And yeah, I kind of just was like, okay, I'm just gonna do business, bro. I just want to focus on making money.
Yeah.
You know, not to get like uber rich, but to not have to see this kind of stuff with my children in the future, because I don't want to give them no excuse that, oh, well, we live here, so we had to do this, or you know what I'm saying, or like neglect them. Like I kind of just like, I seen life and death at an early age, and it kind of shook me, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, just put all your energy into this, bro, and see what it takes you. Now this is where it brought me, where we are today.
Yeah. So like, what made you go? Did you guys start with service? Did you guys start with parts? Like, how did that start off?
I honestly, like, I started with just parts.
Okay.
And then I was young, so I had no credit. I had no, like, I had a bank account, but it wasn't a healthy bank account. I had no, like, nothing backing me up, you know? So I kind of just had to do it based off favors. I was buying and selling cars on Craigslist. So I sold like 2-3 cars, saved up a few $1,000s, and pretty much just went all in. Like, but what I did was I took half of my dad's office in the first 6 months because it was empty, and I just paid him like $500-600 a month, and I was like, let me save up a down payment to get a store, you know. So that's what I did, and once I did that, since I told you, like, I started retail work in Swap Meet, they offered me a store in there. So I took that and I ran with it because I knew there was no background checks. It's month to month. It's very like low risk. And I sat there for a couple of years. But what helped me was because I'm from the area, everybody already knew me. You feel me? So the only challenge that I had that I noticed was people were scared to come there. If you were from like San Diego or Costa Mesa and you pulled up on Rosecrans and Western, you're gonna be like, yo, what the? Nah, just keep driving, bro.
Yeah, I think this is the wrong place.
You don't know how many people I sent the address to, and they just never showed up. And then and then a couple of times I realized I'm standing outside smoking a cigarette, and I see a nice fixed up car. Slow down, look, and then keep driving. I was like, dang, this is not the area or the demographic. You know what I mean? They're just probably like, you know, sketched, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's normal. This is where I grew up, like, you know. But I get it. That's when I realized, okay, be here for as long as you can, and then boom. You gotta level up.
Okay. And so how did you, while you were there, how did you, like, was it just usually sticking to people in the same neighborhood, or how did you get people to overcome that, like, stepping in the door?
I just had a badass whip. I literally just had a badass whip.
Yeah.
And like, for my age and that time, that car was like this.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And Marlon was there with me the whole time, see from beginning to end, the build, you know? So, and I built that car because I knew, like, okay, I don't have tons of, like, I don't have no investors, no, like, backing, and I can't just level up and show all this fake, you know, people do that. You know, that's business, right? But I kind of started from zero, from nothing, right? So I just went at my pace, and my car really spoke for the company.
Yeah.
And I did every car show, every car meet. I was just out and about. And when I'm out, I'm handing out cards. So when they see the whip and they're like, man, I want my car to look, they're going to show up. They don't care if you're somewhere in the woods, they're going to pull up, you know? So that's kind of what kept bringing business. And then what happens is reputation, trust, and referrals, right? All those three things combined really helped me. We started like breaking people's shell and having them come out, and they're actually like coming, hanging out. And then my thing is like, I got away from drama, and then how I did that was get into cars, right? And I noticed that there's always drama and there's politics everywhere you go, right? But I was, because I owned a shop in the area, I was cool with everybody. But what I noticed is motherfuckers had tension with each other in the neighborhood, and we all had the same interests. And I couldn't see that happening because where the background I come from. Because not everybody that's into cars came from like a gangbanging experience where they see that firsthand. But I seen it, and I'm like, bro, you guys are fighting, and you guys just fighting over your rims and shit? This is petty.
Yeah.
You know, I know people that shoot each other over like real problems, you know? Like, nah, bro, keep that separate. That's why I respect lowriding so much. Because lowriding is like one of the few hobbies where it involves a lot of criminally background individuals and like gang-ridden individuals, but when they get together for the lowriding, all that stuff is a dead halt. Like, no one cares where you're from, no one cares who you shot or what. We're enjoying car stuff. And then that's why I was like, all right, Moon, you always got, in the back of my head, I always kept in mind, like, with my shop, I got to build a community. And that's where I feel like we flourished in that, because I always looked out for the people, not for the pockets. You know, I just grow with the business. Now, this is what I'm going to do till I die. So pay me today, pay me tomorrow, it doesn't fucking matter. My thing is I want to make it strong for longevity. And what we did is we engaged with all our customers on a friendship basis. You know, I've learned, obviously, over the experience and time, you can't get close to everybody that comes in here because, you know, that's not everybody's vibe. But you feel them out. Like you said, people dealing. I know how to read people. I know who's genuine. Kind of know who's a snake and who's trying to take advantage. I call them out right away. I tell them just go to the next shop, bro, because this is not that type of shop. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're very straightforward here. So people respect that too. And I've made guys make up in the shop that were like beefing with each other.
Oh,
like,
wow.
You know, or I've had where one guy just not showing up because this guy comes here and him and them don't get along. And I'm like, man, y'all petty. Come, y'all, like, I made people shake hands and make up, you know? Yeah. And they're like homies now, till, you know? And it's like, I seen that happen under our roof.
Nice.
You know? So that's one of the big things I hold is a community.
That's what's up.
You know, because this is something we do to get away from our daily lives. So you want to have a kind of like a peace of mind when you go out and do. You don't want to have tension and
be worried about who might be out there.
Bad thoughts and all that BS, bro. It happens still today, bro. It's a struggle, you know. But it's how serious you take it, you know. So
when you first started, you say you had the little location. What parts were you starting? Were you selling? Would it just per person, or did you keep a stock? What did that look like?
No, I kept stuff in stock. Back then, it was a different kind of thing, you know, like the business has changed a lot since then till now. Back then, you tend to stock a lot of things because one part may fit 5 different vehicles or applications, so it's cool, you know, like boom, run it, send me all this stuff. So I used to stock a lot of like Honda parts, you know what I mean? That's why JDM Mafia was like the start. All the Honda guys were coming, and the same part that fits the Civic fits Integra, and so I was selling a lot of like little things, and those type of cars, they're easy to work on, and it's usually do it yourself in your driveway type mods, right? And that's where it was easy for me to unload parts because people were coming to grab stuff that they wanted to go and do on the weekend on their car, so it was easy, you know what I mean? Corner lights, control arms, springs, you know, camber kits, anything that could be added on, and it's not rocket science. Wheels and tires, you know, like I always had the plug because when you come to a place like this, we have access to certain items that Otherwise, it would be impossible for you to find unless you go through somebody like me. You know what I mean? So that's where the industry falls into play, and that's how we keep it like a tight niche industry. You know, that the people only deal with certain people. So I tell people a lot, they're like, oh, I want to do this. It's not as easy as it looks, and I talk about it so like calmly, confidently. It's because it's my life, and it's been my life. I didn't decide at 33 I want to go do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is kind of where I took the chance as a teenager, and this is what it led to, you know? So
at what point did you start to like incorporate like the service part of it?
service part is when we moved out of the swap meet.
Okay.
Well, even before that, actually, we used to do it, but it used to just be like side job shit. Like Marlon would get off work and be like, yo, I'd be like, hey, Marlon, this food needs these installed. What's good? He's like, all right, send them over right now. And boom, all right, I'm gonna try. Like, you know, break off Marlon. Like, we just did it like that. And we were at your mom's apartment. Legit working on cars that I sold coil, and the swap meet was across the street from the crib.
Oh, wow.
So it's not far, you know? But then I moved to a retail, like an actual retail store in Torrance next to El Camino College, and I happen to live across the street too. So then what I did was I started pushing the installs more, because like I always work on like 2-year plan, 4-year plan, 5-year plan. So that was like the thing, like build. Okay, now when I got to the Redondo store, like our parts shit was on lock. Like our Black Friday sale was the biggest sale of the year. It looked like the Supreme store. I had people camping out from midnight till 6 a.m. And there was like 40 people in line at 5:30 in the morning, yeah. I live across the street, keep in mind, so.
Yeah.
I woke out and I just seen a line.
He's like,
and I'm like, dang, they're here for me, you know?
yeah.
So at that moment, I already knew. Like we got the parts side on lock, you know? And now we need to focus on building the service side, because we're already trustworthy, you know what I mean? So I want to expand the business too. So then I used my garage to do installs, and that's when I hired somebody as a tech, you know? And it's funny because Marlon's been here probably like 4 or 5 years only, which is crazy. But he's been my homie, so he's always been involved. He's always been here every day. But now he's running game with me in the shop, you know? He's getting paid for it, so.
Yeah.
I had hired a couple other homies as techs in the past. You know, we had 3 Jose's. We had Jesse, and we had what's his name? Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're all people I knew and good guys, you know what I mean? I still keep in touch with all of them. It's all respect, it's all love, you know? And we basically started the installs, and we got really busy. It came to a point where I was pulling in and out like 3-4 cars a day out of the garage, and I was like, I live in a townhome, like I don't want my neighbors to trip, you know? You do it within limits, because I've lived there for so long. They respect me, they're cool with us, but I don't like to mess things up either. You know, I kind of get the hint. When I got the gist, all right, this is rolling now. And we moved back to Gardena after that. After being there for 4 years, we moved back to Gardena, and we got a garage. So then I had a retail space and a garage, and we had a lift. And that's when I was like, yo, Mar, come on, you know, like just jump in, bro. Like now things are rolling. Like I need somebody here with me that I trust, I can rely on, and that, you know, it's a good work. Like your brother, man, he works really hard, man. Real talk, your brother's one of the hardest working men I know, and he handles his shit. I love that fool. You know, he matched my energy. That's why we work so well together. You know what I mean? We just try to take care of our family, and we just like cars. We're simple, so it works. It's easy.
So was it hard shifting from the parts to the service? Was that like a? Because I imagine there's more money in the service, but I feel like it's also a lot more liability in the service.
It goes hand in hand. I mean, it's wild because I did all right when I didn't install parts either. I was cool. I was chilling. I got into real estate when I was like 21, 22, and that was before I even got the store in Gardena. I was already out buying land off of what? Selling parts. You know, that says a lot in its own. But the thing is, you know, you get older. Like I used to drive a Civic in high school, and it was all done up very clean, but today I have an S-Class. But I'm just older now, right? So I feel like with your business, the same dynamic, like you got to just level up at a certain point. So that was the time to level up. And I did it. The thing is, I never rush things because I like to get things done properly and handle them like, if it's half-assed, I don't even mess with it. That goes with anything in life, you know, like things got to be on point. If I'm going to do it, I do it nicely. So that was like always in the back of my mind, like do it when you feel comfortable. And that's what we did. I obviously ease in the service, and as it progresses and we see how it goes, it flourishes, and then we're ready. We just take it and run with it. You know? So kind of like we were there for 6 years, and we got really known for our service and our parts now. And then we outgrew that spot, so now we're in a bigger place now. And this was also like I had to get pushed off my chair to kind of get back up and be like, oh damn, you know, that's how I took this. I wasn't ready to make the move, but I had to make the move. And now that I did it, I see nothing but good things coming from this. Even though it's a big step, cost a lot. But if I was scared, I wouldn't be where I am today. You know, so I kind of just had to suck it up and go with it and see where it took me. And like now what we're going to do is now we're going to get into off-road. That's where we're transitioning to, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's why Marlon got that Ridgeline. I've had a couple of trucks, but we just been dabbling with it in the background. Because, you know, I don't like to sell stuff I don't know about. I got to know the product in and out, and I got to be confident in my product. So we've been R&D'ing with our personal whips, you know what I mean? We got trucks, we got a little confident. So now I'm going to basically start offering off-road lifts, wheels, tires, but yeah. But I want to hit a niche, which is European SUVs. So I'm trying to do the Euro off-road, something different, but, you know, eye-opening and refreshing, you know?
Okay.
And do the classic Toyota trucks like we usually do. But that's what I plan to do here now, you know? That everything else is like handled, it's in rotation. Now we gotta, like, it's always progress. That's the way I see life, and that's the way you should, you know? Like, you should always look, what's the next move, what's the next big step,
So I do want to take a step back because I want to get more into like the hustle part of it. Like how, I know you talked about it a little bit as far as like you went to different meets and whatnot. How did that, like, you know, what was the mindset and like how did you like continue to like, you know, promote the business and get people to, you know?
It's just passion, bro. I mean, because when I didn't have anything, this is what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we just built a hub for us to do it and get taken care of for our time doing it. So that's what I tell people, like, it's, I don't know, sometimes it's surreal to me too, you know? Like, I know I'm not like on top of the world, I got all this YouTube money and stuff, but for what I thought my life would turn out to be and what it is today, I'm very grateful, I'm very thankful, you know? But I know that I put in the effort to get where I'm at too, so that kind of fuels me to keep going and be more progressive, because I know you put in the work, you get the results. And the only thing is you got to take your time, you got to pace yourself, because you run out of energy too soon, then you're not going to want to do nothing. But that's why they say do what you love to do. Don't try to, you know, another thing is, like, I never looked at what the next man is doing, because those guys are always stuck in those predicaments, and I ain't got time for that. You know, I got to figure me out. So I focus on myself. I pursued my passion, and it paid off, you know? Oh, I knew I always wanted to open business. I was like, I'll sell anything, because I'm honest, I'm straightforward, and I'm a salesman. Like, I know how to sell, you know? But I want to sell what I like to sell. What I like, what I would want to buy myself, I want to be selling that. So I had choice. I could open a grocery store. I could have nail salon. It could have been anything, you know what I mean? But I was like, just do what you know, Moon. You're known for cars. Stick to that. And then I don't have any like schooling credentials or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to secure my future too. So that's when I got into real estate, because this is just my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is somewhere I come. I have a place to sit down, and my bills are taken care of, right? But yeah, you're not about to become Donald Trump sitting here every day either. You know what I mean? This is facts of life. So I just got into investing, you know, and I'm not into like, you know, everybody chooses their own avenues of investing, like stocks or whatever. It's cool. But to be honest, I'm not the guy that's going to be glued to the screens all day.
All day trying to figure out the right play.
I'm not going to wake up at 4:30 a.m. see how the market's going. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, right. Waiting for the right play and things like that.
I know me, right? So I'm going to put myself in that predicament. So I was like, I'm going to go safer. I would just invest in properties and stuff, you know? Because back home, all the people that came here and just bought a Subway as soon as they got to the country and bought a car and bought a house, it's because they had land back home. You know, farmland or whatever it was, and they sold their land, they came here and they set up shop.
Okay, wow.
So for me, I've seen it by experience of the elders, so it's safe. So that's what I got into. I got into real estate. And now I could say it's 10 years in real estate and 13 years as a business owner. So the real estate is what gives me like the confidence and the peace of mind, you know, like to just be chilling. Like even right now, I haven't made a sale. Nobody's came in. And yesterday was like that too, but I'm not tripping. I do what I love. I don't give a shit, you know? But I'm sure if I didn't have the background work, I'd be tripping a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a human too, you know what I mean? So, and our expenses, everything's getting up there. Everything's getting expensive, you know? I don't want to have that burden. And I don't want to put that on my family in the future, you know? Like, I don't want to be that type of person in the household. I just want to be peace, chill, calm. But you have to set that up earlier in life. So then, like, when it comes to the chill time in life, you could actually chill. You see our parents, bro, they still work, dog.
Yeah.
Hell no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Breaks my heart.
I want to ask you, so you also have a second part of the business that I'm pretty sure a lot of people know too, and that's the clothing brand.
Yep.
How did you, where did that idea come from?
So it's just, I was like so against it for years.
Yeah.
Because I was like, bro, I see these other shops and they're like merchandise or like, they just don't put any effort behind it. You know, there's no really thought to it. They just want to put their name on a shirt and
slap a
hand
logo
it
on a
out
t-shirt.
to 1,000 people. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to do that. I can. But that's kind of like diluting it, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, nah, bro, where's going to be the quality in that? So it took me like I didn't drop our first like merch stuff till like 6-7 years into the business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I did a t-shirt and a hoodie. And then those things hit hard, like big. And I was like, damn, you know? But that's because I designed it. You know, like I took my time. I did it like how I would want to wear this stuff. And then sometimes when you wait a little bit, like you get the really nice things, right? So I wasn't using cheap garment. Like our hoodies were printed on Champion hoodies.
Oh,
you know
nice.
What I mean? They had the Champion stamp, the tag, like shit was legit. So it's easy to sell a branded merchandise for that price point, like $60-$80. People buying it. Why? Because not only that it's a brand that's like a well-known brand, but it's car related. And that was like my thing. And then when I did that, I realized like, look, bro, you could really sell this merch stuff, but you got to really take some time and just cultivate it. Like I always say, I just keep that stuff in the oven. Like I just told you, I had a whole spring line set up right now. I haven't even dropped it yet because we have to move our store, but I'm not tripping because I know the dynamics of the merchant. Because see, being in business, you meet so many different types of people, right? Like sitting here, we're working on customer's car. Seems like he does kind of what you're doing right now, right? So you guys linked, but this all happened by coincidence.
Exactly.
So me sitting here every day, 6 days, 7 days a week at the shop, I met so many different type of characters that were from clothing to the skate world. Famous BMX guy pulls up. You know what I mean? Like, so all these people, when you become a important asset to them, for like, they didn't know cars, right? I'm the guy that knows cars. They coming to me. If I take care of them genuinely, honestly, then they're always gonna take care of me. So I always had that backing by like, if I'm doing clothing stuff, we got homies that are pro skaters, homies that sponsor pro skaters that own clothing brands, you know, like I'm friends with like a lot of big names, you know? And these guys are the ones that helped me. Like they were just like, yo, Moon, do this, do that. They just throw little things in my ear and it's just all organic. That's the thing with like streetwear and merch to really, and that's why it's very hard to succeed in it, is it has to be organic.
Yeah.
You can't just mash some shit up and be a culture vulture, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but it
won't go far.
It's a short sprint.
We see it with the anti-social social clubs.
A year or two, and they catch on to your BS.
Yeah.
You know? But sure, you could cash out big on it, but then you got to live with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm more of the people's person. So
yeah.
I'm not trying to get over on people like that. I got to live with y'all. You know?
Yeah. I got to see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, let's stretch them out in payments. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't need a lump sum up front. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, so that's what it was. I bought a lot of clothes. I spent a lot of time on Fairfax. And I realized, bro, like half the stuff I wouldn't even buy it because I didn't like the fit or the garment they used. So then I just started making my own.
Nice.
And then have these people backing you up, eat hand in hand, bro. You know, like everything was always like, okay, what's the best shirt you could buy right now? What's the best hat they're using right now? Like I was in with these brands that the garments they're using, I already had the back end information on.
You already knew. No
so
testing.
I'm matching it.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm matching seasons now.
Oh, wow.
And that's all stuff like, people don't, and they see me that I do cars, they don't know I know that much about clothing stuff, right?
That's what's up.
Cut and sew and all this stuff, but I learned because a lot of my homies went to fashion school, and they work in these brands. So it's like, it's a melting pot, bro. Like, it's so fun, like creatives, right? Like you said. And when you're a creative yourself, you open up a channel to meet other creatives from other industries, and somehow you guys just hit it off. You know what I mean? Because it's the mind. We all open-minded. We think big, right? So it's fun to grow with those type of people, and you see where it takes you to, you know, over time.
That's what's up. So like, what's the future from here? Like, and I'm not talking about like, you know, give away any your evil plans, but more like, you know, you have this bigger shop now. Like you said, you told us a little bit about going into off-road. Like, what is the next steps looking like for this and the clothing brand?
Just grow, man. We're trying to stick around. We're not planning on going anywhere. I mean, I built a kind of like a household name in as far as LA and California goes for like car stuff. You know what I mean? Like for like, you could call it JDM or Stance or Drift, whatever, but anybody that's into cars, they've heard of us, you know? And it's all good things. So for that, like now, my dad always used to tell me, like, because even my father, like I said, he's been here, he's still not self-sufficient, you know what I mean? The homeboy still struggles and stuff, but I respect him because he gives me that balance of, like, without anything, you could still be chilling. Like, this is nothing, bro. When you die, you don't take it with you, you know? My dad's more the intellectual guy, and I see him, he's more of a community person. He's not about money at all, so he puts that balance in my head. He always told me that, like, right now, Moon, like, you're on a flight. Your 747 took off. But eventually, you're not going to keep going. That shit's going to explode, right? It got to go like this at some point. So the real challenge is keeping it afloat. So that I feel like I'm at that stage now. Keeping it afloat. But not keeping it afloat just for me. Like, I still want to progress, you know? Like, I want to do the biggest things you can imagine I want to do, you know? But as far as my day-to-day life and the business, this is what I'm focused on. You know, keep things rolling and just a gradual incline year by year. I'm happy with that because I have a peace of mind already, you know, like financially, in a sense that I know what direction I'm going in, so it's cool, you know?
Yeah. That's what's up. Moon watched his parents do the best they could, and yet they still struggled to get by. And he quickly realized that in order to avoid that fate, he would have to start a business. With little to nothing to back him up, he had to rely on his two biggest strengths, his knowledge and passion for cars, and his people dealing skills. When he was low on funds, he took to Craigslist to buy and flip cars until he saved enough money to start selling parts. Then he convinced his pops to rent out part of the office to start stocking more parts to sell. The best part is when he had his first shop in a harsh area, he used his own whip as marketing to create trust with potential customers. Moon was willing to do whatever it took to progress the business, but not at the expense of the community. Remember, I look out for the people, not the pockets. This mentality has paid dividends, allowing him to branch out in the real estate game and open bigger and better shops. We have to understand it's easy to throw our hands up when faced with a less than desirable circumstance. But if we take the mindset of Moon and use what little we have, we could find ourselves in places that we couldn't even imagine. Let's continue to listen as we hear him explain how he watches those around him for not only what to do, but also what not to do. So now I want to kind of talk about like, and I like how you kind of talked about it a little bit about the balance of it all. Like how, like you said, you're here 6-7 days a week. Like how do you work so much and like have that hustle and, you know, have that, you know, sit down and design the ideas and, you know, think about what parts you need and go. I know I've done a little bit of inventory. Like stuff's not moving. How do I get rid of it? Like, you know, go through all the different things that comes with a business, but also, you know, maintain a social life, you know, check in on parents and hang out with friends. And what does that look like for you?
Well, that's like what I said. It's the individual. Like for me, like when I say I live this, I really live this. Like I could be sitting at my girlfriend's house at 10 o'clock at night and I'm replying to like messages and stuff for customers. You know what I mean? Like any given time I'm doing something work related, you know? Like while you were explaining to me how we're going to do this, I'm sitting there talking to WeWork or Upwork. There's some guy in Pakistan building a flyer for me right now. You know, I'm uploading photos of homeboy while I'm talking. I'm always multitasking and you have to be quick. Like I've had it where back in the days when like I sold just parts, and it was slow, it would be slow for like, say, oh, it's 4th of July coming up. Damn. Ain't nobody gonna spend money on car parts. They're saving money for fireworks and parties and this, outings. All right. It's Monday. I know 4th of July is on Friday, Thursday. We already got a short week. Because now that's a long weekend. All right, I'm going to throw a 4th of July sale.
Nice.
Within a split second, boom, start posting. Boom. People start coming in, It's just like I'm always on my feet, you know what I mean? I'm always on my tippy toes quick. Like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. Same with the other thing. We had to move, boom, found a shop. Did we downsize? No, I got a bigger shop, I got a better shop. If I got to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm not going to be scared and conservative and cheap. No, I'm past all that.
Yeah.
I made it this far.
Is it I guess like you say, you live and breathe cars, so your social life is in the going to a car meet and your friends is the same thing as
I gotta go on, I gotta go on a ride tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On a Saturday, and I'm working till 2 right now. So I got a half day of work. Then I'm gonna go do some family stuff. But I already told the family, look, I gotta go on a cruise at like 9 p.m. and somewhere off Pasadena. And they're like, oh, that's cool. Just show face, eat, and leave. It's a life balance, I could have been like, oh, sorry, auntie, I can't come to your house because I got a car thing. But I'm at that age now. You know what I mean? I'm not 20, 22 anymore where I'd be like, man, there's gonna be parties forever. You know what I'm saying? I don't get to eat home cooked food like I used to. You feel me? And another thing, they're getting older. They're not always going to be there. So for me, I got to respect that too, and I got to balance, right? So boom, spend a little bit of time there, then go out and do me. So that's kind of how I work with life too. Like, and the family knows that now, So, and any female that's with me, she's going to know that too. But I mean, obviously, I'm aware enough to understand I got to balance life, because some people do get obsessed over work. Then they're just mad, lonely, alone. Angry, alone, and just always stressing about work. I don't want to be that guy either.
Yeah.
That could happen easily.
What is that like, how should I ask that? Like, what are some of the tools you might use, or like, a mindset you might keep to help you like not go into the hustle, all I'm doing is hustling and everything else is on the back burner.
I watch other people. Like one of my best friends, he's probably like doing 10 times better than me, but he has no balance in life, and you see it. Years went by and now I really see it, and it's like, bro, you need to slow down, dog. Like, we got our whole lives to do this, man, but like, take some time off, dude. And I see that, and then they're like, nah, man, nah. When you're making this type of money, I don't care about nothing else. Like, you're saying that right now, bro. When you get older, you're gonna regret it. You know what I'm saying? So I got friends that are so busy with their businesses that I can't even call them and say, let's go get a burger. I get yelled at. This guy always wants to just hang out. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, it's not like that. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I haven't seen you. Like, no, I'm good. I'm busy. All right.
Wow.
So I gotta hit you up when it's work related. That's the only way I'm gonna hang out with you. Those are the type of friends I have. You get me? So, but then at the same time, I got a couple friends that are like me. Where everything's solid, family life is good, work is good, but I still got time for the homies. So it's personal preference. We all dress ourselves up every day. It's just what you want to wear, right? Same. It goes the same, man.
So do you have any advice for somebody who might be struggling with that balance? Like, you might be coming from a similar situation, like you seen what it's like to not have money, and now it's like, I have to fix that issue and never worry about it again. Like,
I'll tell you, more money, more problems. What P. Diddy said, that shit is real. Yeah. That is facts, bro. So you have to be, at some point in life, content with where you're at, and you got to just, like, stop and smell the roses. That's real, too. These things, they fly over your head when you're younger, these little words, terminologies, but you just get older, you connect with those. You're like, damn, that's deep. Yeah. Because, like, I was told I had to move in on Valentine's Day.
Oh wow!
And since then, I've been like tunnel vision, cause like when you go in work and someone says, "Oh, you can't have this work here," like you don't have your business anymore. Like, it's like your livelihood is taken away, right? So I was like in a dark, I guess you would call it a dark place. For me, I love challenges. I'm like, all right, watch me. You say I can't do it, watch me do it. But I like to do stuff on my account. That wasn't on my account, so it was a little bit stressful. And I took all that time to just focus on this now because I got too comfortable. The balance part, right? Like I was way too chill. Like I was chilling, come a little bit late, leave a little bit early, all that, you know? Because at the end of the day, I built this. I've been doing it 13 years. I was 7 days a week. I mean, I'm a human too, bro. Like I'm gonna chill a little bit. Then the moment I chilled a little bit, boom, this problem arises.
Yeah.
Like kind of got me back on my tippy toes. Like damn it. But it was a good thing though, you know, because now it's time to level up. And sometimes like God pushes you on the floor to let you know that you can still get up and walk. You know, you still have your balance, right?
It's funny because Bill Gates recently gave a commencement speech at the end of a graduation for Northern Arizona, and that was one of his quotes. His quote was, "Giving yourself a little slack doesn't make you a slacker."
Exactly, that's facts, bro.
But like you said, it's a little slack. Not take, you know, it might take the week off, but don't take the week off every week.
Exactly, and people do that stuff, bro.
Yeah.
That's when the business goes to shit.
Yeah.
Like the guy that moved our lift here, man, he pissed me off, bro. This guy, I'm very like well planned, thought out. I do everything on point. So I hit this guy up like 3 weeks before. I gave him the date, the time. Yo, we need to move the lift this day, this time. All right, sir, you got it. 9 a.m. on a Saturday. Because when I move shops, I don't like to lose not even one day of business. So I do it on a weekend. So by Monday, we at the new location.
Makes sense.
And I got here at 9 a.m. I was waiting on homeboy. He didn't show up till 5 p.m.
Whoa, that's wild.
Imagine waiting, what is that, 8 hours?
Yeah, it's literally 8 hour shift.
For a guy to come move the biggest piece of machinery you have for your business to conduct business at the new place.
Yeah.
And he's been dodging you the whole day, and he set it up a month ago. I was hot, bro.
Yeah.
And then at 5 o'clock, he don't even show up. He sends 2 workers.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, man, this idiot. I'm like, I'm about to buy a second lift from this guy. This is how lazy he is now because he's too comfortable. He could have sold me another lift and made money on the move because he didn't show up. He didn't get. He had to give me a discount on the move too because when he sent those other guys, I'm like, you're not. Where's sleeping? Like, sleeping. It's 5 p.m., bro. What you mean sleeping? That guy, he got the good life now. I'm like, oh, bruh.
That's crazy.
Good life, but look how the business is ran now.
Yeah, exactly.
Sending numbnuts to me, and I got to deal with them. They don't even speak English.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they didn't know English. So then it was like, it was hard to deal with them because you got to put the lift. Once you put it down, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was sketchy, man. Then I was with them for like 3 hours, and like, I didn't let them leave till I put my car on the lift and made sure everything cleared because I didn't trust them at that point. And then I grilled them and said, you got to give me a discount too because I waited all day for you.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just a clear example of someone that's too comfortable or just made enough money that he don't care no more. The business is going to go to shit now. And that's what I don't want that to happen. That's why I don't have a lot of employees.
Makes sense.
If I got to sit here and greet everybody on my own and handle all the orders on my own, I'll do it, you know? It's like
building that trust is the tough part.
Yeah. People have a bad day. Your employee could have a bad day, take it out on your customer, and then you got to deal with it. You know? But me being the owner, I know the balance. I keep that separate. You know.
That's what's up. Well, appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
This is your camera. Let them know where to find you and all that.
We'll come by anytime. We're in Torrance now at the Simpsons Racing Alley. It's on 22624 Normandy Avenue, Torrance, California. And follow us on Instagram, JDM Mafia Motorsports. And follow us on TikTok, Mafia Motorsports. Okay. And you can see all the crazy stuff we do day to day.
Appreciate you, Moon.
Yep. Got you, man. Anytime.
All right, this is the Creative Balance Show, and I hope you guys had a good time. We're out of here. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Creative Balance Show with the extremely passionate Moon Khan. To find out more about the show and find other episodes like this, check out woozyapparel.com/pod. Or you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you prefer to listen to this podcast. If you're watching the video version, do me a favor, like this video and subscribe for more content. And to my audio listeners, if you enjoyed the episode, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps out a lot. This is Najara, better known as Wuzi, And thank you for listening to the Creative Balance Show, presented by Wuzi Apparel.